Hey. Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're back after a week break. People are pretty excited about that. So we have some partial news. So we took a break last week and we sent out a message letting everybody know that, we're really working on getting a live space again. Now, it's COVID. For those, there's so many of you that have never been to a live solution group. It's crazy. You all joined us during COVID, which put us on Zoom. And we no longer have the office space we used to have, so we didn't just go back to that yet. We did try last spring, as many of you know, to go back to some in-person groups there at the shop, but the space just isn't big enough for all of us. And so we have too many of us that want to attend. So we are on the hunt. And as of today, we have a really hot lead. So there's no specific announcement yet, but we're pretty excited. Becky has been working some magic in the community in Auburn, and there's a real hot lead going on. So we're feeling pretty confident. We won't let out any details quite yet until we have it absolutely confirmed, but it's a really cool location right off of 167. So we're excited. So as soon as we have details and when we'll roll this out, we will let you know. But the goal is really to create some newness and to create something awesome in the community, like community, family, solution focused. And so that is coming. So in the meantime, so we sent out a message last week and just say the truth is we're so grateful that y'all are still tuning in every week. It's just amazing. So we're so glad to have this platform. But it's tough on all of us that live so close together. We want to be in person. So we just kind of getting bored with the Zoom thing when we don't have to do it anymore if we can find an alternative. But those of you who are long distance, don't worry. We are still going to accommodate you all. So don't worry. Don't freak out and go, no, because there's people that live far away that don't have the opportunity to join us in person. And prior to COVID, we actually did Zoom. We had Zoom. It just, was this afterthought. And the benefit to now is we have fine-tuned, gotten things down. We've got Nico. We've got, some knowledge now in tools, speakers, things like that to enhance that, and make it better than it was before and make it as good as we possibly can for you guys at home. So don't worry, that's still going to be available for you guys too. So stay tuned for that. We're pretty jazzed about that. So Becky, you want to tell them about Mom's Group and maybe group coaching?
Oh, tomorrow, Mom's Group, 11 a.m. on Zoom. You can get the link from me or Angie if you haven't already joined us. We've got quite a community of moms. It's a lot of fun. We just get together. We talk about whatever the topic is from tonight or whatever's going on in our lives. And sometimes we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff, but super fun. And it's great. It's a good, it's been a really good way to get the moms to get to know each other because we haven't been able to get together in person. And so there's all these people we've only met maybe once now, in person. So anyway, so it's great. It's a great alternative to in person. I think we should still keep it up, even if we're doing solution group in person, but yeah, it's one of my favorite things. And group coaching. Group coaching is my favorite thing for sure. So next Wednesday, right? 6 to 8 p.m. at Rebuild Recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. This last week's was so good. You just got to be there. But yeah, it's so good. You guys have no idea. But anyway, if you haven't been to one, please come. In the meantime, I'm super, super excited about this opportunity to get together in person for solution groups in this place in Auburn. I love having people here. Obviously, I've got Deb and Mylin tonight.
She's probably glad to have it open.
No, I love having, and then Bill, he's over in his semi-recliner over there. Anyway, but yeah, I miss the whole environment, the whole energy, everyone getting to know each other and the community of it. So Angie, I can't wait.
Yeah, us too. Gosh, the auction was so great. It was a real reminder of how we really feed off of y'all's energy. And so it's an absolute must. So we're going to figure that out. So stay tuned. And then Mom's Group will remain on Zoom. that will definitely remain on Zoom. We have way too many people from afar that we've really built a nice connection with. So we'll keep that via Zoom regardless. But so stay tuned. And then group coaching is in person, like she said. And yeah, last week was extra cool. It was really, really, really a good group coaching. And let me show you real quick, you guys, before I turn it over to the rebuild crew. Let me just show you real quick on the screen. Everything is on our website. So when it comes to signing up for group coaching, when it comes to signing up on our text reminder list, anything, any information, it's right here on our website. So if you click on services and then group coaching, that's where you're going to find the information to register for the next group coaching, and you'll find the dates. We take it one date at a time as we go. There is no cost to group coaching, but there is a limit because we have a limited space. And so you do want to register, and we always fill up. So you do want to do that early. And then I wanted to show you all this too. Super important right now when there's all these changes going on. If you are not on our text reminder list, this is where you can sign up for that. So on our website, if you scroll all the way down, like I just did, on the left, you'll see email alerts. That's to sign up on our email newsletter, which you get maybe, I don't know, 4 or 6 emails a year. And then on the right, text alerts. And if you hit sign up and then put your phone number in there, you're going to be on our text list. Now, having my text, getting a random text from me or like any communication with me is different than this. So if you received a reminder today saying solution group tonight, you are on our text list. If you did not get that, then you're not on the list. So be sure and get on that list because there's so many changes right now. And with this in-person thing, what's happening next Tuesday, we don't know. We're just going to take all this as it comes. So make sure you're on that so you get the latest. So, all right, I think that's it for now. I think we can move it over to the crew here. We've got let me mute. Let me take us off spotlights. Let me re-spotlight the rebuild crew. All right, let's take it to the shop. So if you're new tonight, let's wait so we can see them. Let's see. Can we see y'all's camera over there? Here it comes. There we go. Okay, so if you're new tonight, welcome. We look forward to meeting you and saying hi, but I want to introduce you here to Mr. Kyle Munkers. He is a manager over there at Rebuild Recovery, but he's also our comedian, and he brings us Kyle's Corny Comedy Corner every Tuesday to start us out for the night. So take it away, Kyle.
Yeah, that's the manager. Saying the manager. Max is in training. Jim and Sharon Eckley, just so you know, we have your son. Yeah, he has arrived. We have him. He is sleeping, and you can have him back for $1,000.
Thank you.
We'll give you 1,000. Yeah. No, but we have him. He's back, and he's got fresh socks on. So
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. So one of our newest clients, Allie, she wants to study cosmetology. It's pretty awesome. She's going to be an astronaut. Cosmetology, yeah, Cosmo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's actually makeup. Yeah.
It's not.
Whatever, girl shit. Okay. I had to sell my pet rock. It killed 2 birds. You guys want to hear my impression of an Amish guy in a car wash? Ah, my horse. Speaking of 2 birds, you know what they call 2 birds that stick together? Velcros. So we have, none of our clients will eat fish. And Art asked me to solve this problem, and I said, okay, well, none of the clients eat fish, and let's try cats. Because cats eat fish, and they don't do drugs. Might be easier. So it turns out a couple of days ago, my grief counselor died. But he was pretty good because I don't care. I brought some clients to the gym the other day, and they were doing their tanning and working out, and I saw this really cute girl, and I came up to her and I said, "Hey, just first thing popped in my mind." I said, "What are you doing for the new?" I said, "What are you doing for the new year?" She said, "Screw you." I'm pretty excited for the new year. I'm getting lucky. She was hot. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? No. 10 tickles. But they only have 8 tentacles, so the first 2 must have been testicles.
You had to make that sense.
A couple of these, not that one though, but a couple of these are amongst originals, I must say. So as a lot of you know, as I got my teeth done, and with teeth being done, you now have to go to the dentist. And I went to the dentist a couple of days ago, and he said, "Kyle, when's the last time you flossed?" And I said, "Are you an idiot? You were there." I've been carrying around this 9-foot book. Jeff asked me why, and I said, "Long story." Somebody told me that my Viagra, you guys all know about my Viagra addiction. Someone told me that my Viagra would cure sunburns. Well, it doesn't, but it keeps the blankets off my legs when I sleep.
Thank you, Kyle. All right. Let's do a little sound check, Art. Let's make sure we can hear you.
Okay, how is it?
Sounds like we're good. We're good to go.
I'd like to, if there's new people, Ange, let's first, maybe if we can get them to turn their camera on, do an introduction. Maybe we can, tonight's kind of a freestyle anyways. I don't really have anything prepared. We're going to totally wing it. So, normally I wing it, but like every week, but tonight is a little different because I just totally blanked. So let's, go to the new people and
yeah. Actually, there's a couple
another
of
reason
I see off the bat that I'd love to introduce you to. So I see Matt Murdoch. I went to school with Matt. Can we unmute you and say hi? I went to high school with Matt, and so happy that you're here tonight. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, Angie, and thank you everybody that's here. So good to see your face, Angie. Actually, it's junior high and high school.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the good days. Yeah, I'm here in Portland, Oregon, and I've had a long-standing battle with addiction my whole life, pretty much since I was 7 years old, and so there's a lot of trauma behind my story, and so I've kind of followed Angie and Battlefield Addiction for the last few years, and I'm really excited to see what's going on here. I watched the YouTube recording, and the jokes are still as corny, but they're still a good intro. And so I really liked Art's message, from the last meeting, and it really spoke to me. And so I'm looking forward to I guess my recovery, and wherever it takes me. And so that's been part of my story too, is the self-sabotage. But I'm here and I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for introducing me, Angie. And
Thanks
it's good
so
to see you.
And do you prefer Matt or Matthew?
I go by Matthew.
Matthew. Okay. Very good. Matthew.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
thank
Very
you.
good. Very good.
okay. Nice to meet you, Matthew.
Glad you're here. All right. And then Chelsea, I talked to you today. I see Chelsea with her camera on, so I assume it's okay to say hi. Hey guys, out in Enumclaw, my hometown.
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Chelsea.
Hello.
I'm Chelsea. This is my husband, Cody.
Hey Cody.
Hello.
Nice
Where are you
to
guys
meet
from?
We're in Enumclaw. So
Ooh.
from Enumclaw area.
Yeah.
Who are you here to learn about, or what's the purpose?
I've been battling with addiction for upwards of 15 years.
Okay.
So
What have you,
definitely-
go ahead.
I was just
Go
going to
ahead.
say, we're definitely looking forward to kind of learning more about what you guys do and kind of getting some more info.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the most important part is hang on and try not to be offended the first night and leave. Okay, 'cause I can do that to people. So let's just make sure we get through night one.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Nice to meet you guys. So Chelsea and
You as
Cody.
well.
Awesome.
you.
Glad you're here. All right.
Team
And
dog.
then was there one more out there that's new tonight that's maybe they have their camera off and don't want to say hi, and that's okay. Just we'd love to meet you if you're willing. But I see the camera off, so it's okay. I'm glad you're here, Kelly. And if at any point you want to say hi, please feel free. You're in good hands here. And yeah, I don't see anybody else off the top of my screen here, but I think we're good to go. Jim and Sharon, thank you for picking up our son and giving him clean socks.
Yeah.
Those clean socks. Gotta have those clean socks.
It's a cell phone. Yeah. Yeah. I've been working out this thing. It's like this sometimes in my head, it's like stand-up comedy, and you have to work out your like routine. Brina, you guys ever seen the movie The Weatherman? And Nicolas Cage is walking along like he's a weatherman. I think it's in Chicago, and he's walking along the road and people throw shit at him all the time. So they like he just gets hit with Slurpees and bananas and whatever people and No, The Weatherman. It's Nick Cage. Nick Cage. It's a great movie. Nicolas Cage, Michael Caine is his father. It's a great movie. There was a great line in that movie where he tells Nicolas Cage, he says, normally in my life, the hard thing to do and the right thing to do is always the same. And it's a very true. But, I kind of liken myself. It's like this job's like being a weatherman, we point out the obvious. Everyone wants a weather update. How's the weather with my kid? And then we tell them, well, it's raining a lot right now, or it's or maybe, and then when it's sunny, then they give me all the credit for the sunshine, like I get to say, well, it's sunny outside. And they go, you're great, Art. And then when I tell them, hey, it's snowing out, then all of a sudden I get shit thrown at me. And so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, also there's like 3: addiction expert, weather expert, sports expert. None of us are experts. It's like 3 areas where we just talk and talk and talk, and nothing ever really is true. It's all philosophical and it's not really definite. And it's just kind of like, a sports expert, like what are they? They can't ever tell you who's going to win. They can't, they never know. They're not an expert. They just talk. And a weatherman just kind of points out, you could kind of get the same information just looking outside, and families can get the same information, just kind of, they know. So when they want a weather update on their kid, they know. They already know. They just want me to like tell them it's going to be sunny soon, and the rain's going to stop. So, but it's all philosophical. I think weather would be more precise than what we do. But there is a format to sing along. And I think one of the things that people don't understand that's true is that a drug addict's behavior is constant. And so when families start dealing with addiction, what they don't really understand is that it looks like the drug addict's doing different behavior, but the behavior of a drug addict is very consistent. And actually what's happening is things are happening around that person, like the drug addict is telling us their plans and they're going to do something different. But the reality is it's all smoke and mirrors, and the drug addict is just using drugs and 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 using drugs. And that's just all that's going on. There's not really anything else going on. And they go, well, I'm going to go to outpatient treatment. I'm going to take methadone. I'm going to do Suboxone. I'm going to go to inpatient. I'm not going to go to inpatient. I'm going to try some more Suboxone. I'm just going to drink. and it's this constant thing, but it's all the same. And so just like that, what we've been talking about this week here is this kind of, and it's a rehashing of, or bringing up of what we call these 4 positions. Anything that in our life, anything that we relate to, anything that we're relating to, any relationship we're in, whether it's with our dog, our recovery, our job, our wife, or whoever we're with, people relate from one of four positions. The first position being people relate from a reactionary position. So they are in what we call here the third position, which is a reactionary position, which means life's coming at you and you're just reacting to it. If someone stays in that position long enough, life will force them into the fourth position, which we call a victim position, which is saying, I've reacted so long to life that I'm so used to negative outcomes. I'm so used to being dominated by this relationship, whatever it is, my job. I'm used to being dominated by my mother, my parents, my addict, my wife, whatever it is. I've been dominated by so long that now I've moved to this victim position, and it's bad. It's because in reacting, at least we're getting new things happening. But when we get to this fourth position, what happens is people learn to expect negative outcomes. And they actually anticipate negative outcomes and want those negative outcomes with their job, negative outcomes with their addict, negative outcomes with their family, negative outcomes with their recovery. Oh, I always use drugs and I always end up relapsing. And then, of course, they end up relapsing or whatever it is. So what we're trying to do here is move people in, and I'm trying and begging and imploring and getting on my knees and saying, please move to the second position, which is an initiator of life. Please get to the position in your life where you're attacking it. Please take an offensive position with your own life. Take an offense to your own life. Stop playing defense. Take an offense to your recovery. Take an offense to your addict. Initiate. And then once we move and we spend enough time as the initiator, we can move up into the first position, which is actually a leader. So again, if you go down the scale, we have a leader, an initiator, a reactor, and a victim. And if you can go down that and see that in any relationship you see, in any relationship you have, place yourself. Look at that relationship and say, how am I relating to this situation? Am I reacting to it? Am I initiating it? Am I leading it? Or am I being a victim to it? And you just look at that scale and you can find yourself at your job. You can find yourself with your roommates. You can find yourself with your parents. You can find yourself anywhere. And my suggestion is that if you're in the second or first positions, which is initiating the situation or leading the situation, trying to get to a leadership position, that you will be most happy, that you will be miserable in this third and fourth position. Now, with families that come on here and want to change things, there's a process. And so as an initiator, if I want to become an initiator, see, what people don't understand is you don't just start attacking. The first thing that you need to understand is there is an actual backwards movement to this thing. So when you want to solve things in your life, when you want to relate to things different, there's a movement that has to happen. And that movement is moving you to an observer position of you. It's always the first movement. So we wake up. That's what the Buddha said. He said to wake up. And so you wake up and you get out of this thing and you get above yourself and you start. That's the first movement, is backwards, upwards. And so this gives us this space. Now, as soon as I want to deal with a problem in my life, a person in my life, a relationship that's not working out, my job, anything, I move upwards. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be an observer of my own behavior. See what that gives us. As soon as you get in that position of being an observer of your own behavior, it gives you movement. See, for my whole life, from the time I was 18, from the time I was 13, 12, 5, I never watched myself. All I did was just behave. And I didn't ever care how I was behaving. I was always just reacting to life. So if I'm mad, that's because you did something. If I'm angry, that's because you pissed me off. If I'm worried, that's because life has me worried. If I'm upset, that's because you have me upset. I had no way to actually make any progress on my situations because I was stuck inside here. And so when I learned, first of all, the first movement in my recovery, and it was up until the 4th year when I read Eckhart Tolle that he said, hey, you got to be an observer of your own mind. All of a sudden, now I have another level of a human being. I have another level that I can operate from. So all of a sudden I can go up here. Now, the biggest question you can start asking yourself is, how should I behave? See, once that question is started, how should I behave to initiate and attack this problem in my life? How should I behave? This is a massively important question. And if you're not asking it, you're never going to change the situation. So families come on here and they're shocked when I tell them that they have an addict in recovery and they're going to have to behave differently. That is shocking news. It's something they've never considered. But see, in any relationship in our life, in order to improve it, in order to improve anything in our life, any improvement in our life, anything, if anything in our life improves, it's because we behave differently. Anything. And so but people find themselves waiting for improvement in the reactionary position. They find themselves waiting for improvement in the victim position. Just think about anything that's ever improved in your life. You did it. You did it through your behavior. You're going to only behave your way out of this predicament you're in. That's it. So if you're going to behave your way out of this predicament you're in, if you're going to behave your way to a better life, well, then you must watch your behavior. It must be the central focus of your life to take this upward step and watch your behavior. You know, for a long time, I was stuck. I was fighting families. And I didn't understand. And it came to me one day, I was about 7 years sober, 6 years sober. I was out in Tulalip we used to do solution group on Thursday nights, way out in Tulalip. We'd do Tuesday nights here, I think. And then we would drive out there for Thursday nights and we would do the North End. And we would fill up a room out there at this coffee house called the Lounge or something like that. And I remember I was walking outside. I remember right when it hit me, I go, oh, it's not helping addicts that is the problem. It's all the people, it's the reactionary people around them that makes it tough. It makes it tough to get to them. You know, there's two major reactions to addiction. If you'll ever look, you'll find them. There's two major reactions that'll be around every addict. There'll be two things surrounding every addict. There'll be a reaction of sympathy. Someone in your life has sympathy for you, and you gravitate toward that person that has sympathy, and they give you money and they let you stay at their house and they try to fix you. And then there's somebody that's angry with you. And there's hatred and anger. So there's these two things two reactionary. So if people are on here and it's their first night, they could just come here and I can look and I could go, tell me in your family who's in the camp of hatred. Tell me who's in the camp of sympathy. And they're going to be able to tell me exactly who is. They're going to say, this person's in the sympathy camp and this person's in the hatred camp. And then these two camps start reacting and fighting against each other and the addict stays constant. Just boom, 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 boom. And everyone's swirling around them. And their families don't understand. They don't get that, well, we have to change our behavior because in the reaction of hatred, the reaction of sympathy, there's no solution. Those are all just problematic ways of behaving. So the first movement for all of us, and that's, for me, the only thing I can do for another human being is to get them to watch themselves. I can do nothing else. I can't convince you until you begin to watch your behavior. I can't convince you of doing anything because your life's not going to get any better. And so if you really just look at this miracle that we have, this total miracle that a dog doesn't have, a dog cannot watch their own behavior. A dog can't look at himself. A dog can't, can't have an observed life. We get this beautiful thing that we can observe ourselves, and we throw it away daily to spend our time observing other people. We spend our time judging, we spend our time conspiring, we spend our time running bullshit about people and talking about them. And very little of us go, I have problems in my life, and I need to fix those problems. And in order to fix those problems, I can't be a victim to them, and I can't be reacting to them, because that'll never work. I can't keep up. I cannot keep up with all the bullshit that can happen to me in one day if I live as a reactor. I have to move to this position in my life, and everyone on here, in order to do this thing, each one of us, the families, the people in this room, we're all going to have to behave better. And in order to behave better, we're all going to have to look at our behavior. And we're going to have to stop blaming each other. We're going to have to stop pointing fingers. We're going to have to say, wait, look at what this is doing for me. We have a hard time, with this because I love the playground of addiction. I love it. And so when I tell people I love addiction, they get offended. But I absolutely love it because it gives us this playground. It gives us this thing that if you're going to get through it, this is a high wire act. If your family's going to come through it and you're going to make it, you're going to have to behave good. Nobody gets out of this with shitty behavior. Nobody. Everybody, every single person in this room, you better watch your behavior. You ain't watching it, you ain't getting out. I'll see you next year. I'll see you the year after, and we can do this my whole life. And I'll be here for you. And I'll tell you every goddamn day, watch yourself and shut the fuck up. And I'll tell you over and over and over. And then you'll come to me and you'll explain to me how somebody else is the problem. And you'll explain to me how somebody's pissing you off or somebody's doing something. And I'm going to say, watch yourself and shut the fuck up. And maybe one day it'll dawn on you that it's just a simple movement. Boom. I begin to watch my behavior because my behavior is the only thing that's going to get me out of this. And I begin to improve it. And people say, well, Art, you don't believe in free will or you don't believe in choice. Not really, I don't. But I believe in the power of observation. I believe something looked at improves. I believe you look at numbers and they improve. You look at yourself, it improves. There's something inside when we begin to look at our behavior that makes us behave better. It just does. When we take ownership of that, when we look at it, you're going to make it through this thing. Everyone, and just like my message the other day, wanting recovery to be hard. Yes, I want it to be hard. I want people to have to behave their way out of it. I want people to have to tell the truth. You don't lie and get out of this thing. Never. Nobody gets out of drug addiction as a liar. You do not make it. You don't get to not keep your word and make it out of it. You don't get to dabble in drug use and get clean. It does not work. And you don't get to use anger and solve your problems as a family. It ain't going to work. And you don't get to bail somebody out of their own life and feel like a hero. You know, anger and sympathy are both superior. It's just forms of superior. If I feel sympathy for someone, I automatically feel like I'm better than them. If I feel anger towards someone, I feel like I'm better than them. And it doesn't work. That's what's happening in Seattle. Anger and sympathy, anger and sympathy, anger and sympathy. Neither one of them work. And guess what? The addicts are down there being constant. And here we are as a community fighting about them. What do we do? What do we do? The addicts are just going to sit down there and get high, take a dump on the street, steal our shit. And they just doing what they're doing. What are we going to do? They remain constant. So we're taught that with addiction, that an addict isn't going to remain constant, that they're somehow now on this path, and you just as a family wait for this thing to go down and down and down, and then somehow the addict comes to the miracle recognition that they need to change. That does not happen anymore. Just doesn't happen. People trying to think that that's we got to wait for them to hit bottom. No. Look at any situation in your life. So simply, you want a relationship to improve? Take a step back, look at your behavior, find a plan of attack. I remember for the first time in my life, this guy goes, hey, Art, I don't remember who it was, my sponsor or somebody. I was like 3 years clean. He goes, ready, aim, fire. I was like, what are you saying? And he goes, well, all you do is fire. He goes, you ever hear the phrase ready, aim, fire? And I was like, oh, shit, that's pretty good. You mean I got to get ready? I got to think about my behavior. I got to think how I'm going to behave. And then I got to fire. And then if that doesn't work, I can't move down to the victim position and say it didn't work. I got to come up with a new strategy over and over and over and over again until I find success. I strategize. I'm going to make it. I don't know how yet. Not smart enough, but I'm going to make it. And that's whatever I decide to do. We are trying to buy a program house and I'll give it. And that house needs to be a big house and it needs to be a lot of money. It's not a good time to buy right now. And interest rates are crazy and you need a lot of money and I don't have it. And, but it's going to happen. I don't know how, but I'm going to continue each strategy and work every road until it does. You guys will all be at the house having group. You'll see. And if you're here and you're coming on and you want to help your loved one, guess what? The only way you can help them is with a strategy. And if that's news to you, that you haven't had a strategy yet, and you also haven't helped your addict, it's not a coincidence. And you can continue to do this and continue to do this until you finally have a strategy. And when you do, you'll make a difference. Have you ever improved a situation and made a difference without a strategy? Ever in your life? It seems like when people want to deal with their addict loved ones, they go with no strategy and think they're going to make a difference. Doesn't happen. I can't bake a cake without a strategy. I can't get the butter to soften without a strategy. Been having a case of a lot of hard butter lately. It's just been happening lately. Like people leaving the butter, like, and it's like, I guess it's just it's a winter problem that you don't have in the summer. Then you go get the bread and you try to put the butter on the bread. It rips the bread. This has been a dilemma for me lately. You know, but you can't take a frozen thing of butter and just put it in the microwave. It doesn't translate. It starts melting. Yeah. A couple seconds doesn't even work. You got this slimy little buttery thing. Yeah, it doesn't work. You know? Yeah.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You gotta prepare earlier. You gotta raise up above yourself, watch your behavior, plan that dinner, have that butter out 2 hours earlier. You know, I keep getting caught up without a strategy though. There I am, baked potato. And then my baked potatoes lately, the butter has been making the baked potato cold rather than it's been a whole thing, you know. So there, you know, it's tough. But again, play with this thing. Play with your recovery. Play with it. Try everything. Learn everything. This is fun. You know, I asked people today in group, I asked them when they're going to have any fun. It's not that I don't think people are doing behavior that shouldn't be fun. Like there's a lot of behavior here, like watching movies and doing nothing. And there's that kind of thing that like people could do to have fun. But remember, the formula for having fun was work and then business, then pleasure. And that's what I meant. People avoiding the business part and then trying to have fun, you're not going to have any fun. So there's another strategy. There's another thing to look at in my behavior. But this is it. And so let's just put the formula out there really quickly. So I think the formula for success in any situation, and this is comparable to any situation, is simply I go and observe. I determine how am I going to be that best fits this scenario to have success? How am I going to be? How am I going to be? And if I ask that question, how am I going to be? Then that's the first question that opens the door to success. But if I'm not asking that question, I just go start to ram my head through the wall, I don't really have success. So I need to get back and I need to truly, truly not only observe my current behavior that I'm going to go with, I have to observe the collection of behavior that I've already behaved in this situation. I've had to look and see how I've behaved that led up to this. And that's not just for the drug addict. That's for everyone. So that's being an initiator. Now, again, most people, and I'm telling you most people not because I've done a survey, but because I ask over and over and I watch people with the way they live their life. Most people this current time are reacting to life. And worse than just being in the third position and reacting to life, people are expecting negative outcomes. I bet it's voting day to day, and I bet there's a lot of people saying expecting negative outcomes and not voting. And really caring about, you know? So there's, you know, living in this third position forces us down to the fourth because as we're reacting to life, so much bullshit happens. We get trounced over by life. We get dominated by life. And pretty soon we start being validated by being a victim. We start saying, look, my problems are bigger than yours. And it's not a behavior competition. It's now a problem competition. My kids suck worse than yours. My husband sucks worse than yours. My job sucks worse than yours. And that's how people are competing now. Sad. But the happiest positions, initiating life, leading others, enrolling people in a message, bringing people into the world that you created through your good thoughts. That's where you find it again. That's where you're going to find it. Initiate your recovery. What are you doing? Get on the offensive. Stop letting it beat you down. Battling with it for years. I bet you haven't initiated yet. I bet you haven't set out to kick its ass. And initiating doesn't look like throwing a little jab. It looks like pummeling that shit till it's beat down. When it pertains to recovery, read everything. If you're in recovery and you haven't read the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous, why not? It's a great book. Whatever you're going to read. Initiate. Get beat down, go back to a new strategy. Don't move to victim. That's just how I like to do it. I love strategy. I love thinking like that. I love having a difficult person and going, how do I make this happen? I love having a problem and solving it. I love listening to other people's problems, helping them solve it. But if you notice around here, somebody will lay out their problem and massive amounts of solutions will be given and none will be accepted. I've already tried that. That doesn't work. That isn't going to work for me. Yeah, but it's crazy in the room. I'll listen to you guys give each other solutions. And not only is there like not open ears, there's contempt. Shut up. I don't want to hear from you. You don't know shit. That's how it is. Have you tried? Shut up. What kind of car do you drive? Talking. How to talk to me. I got more money in the bank account than you. Why are you talking to me? Oh, shit. I was trying to give you a solution. We don't like those around here. My problems are bigger than yours. It's like that, isn't it? It's like that. I already tried that. Okay. It didn't work. Beautiful. I'm open up.
All right.
Maybe somebody wants to share now.
Yeah.
Maybe they want a question.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's open it up. That's great. Well, you could have fooled us, aren't we? On you not having that in your head. That was great. So yeah, let's open it up. Any comments, any questions, any need for clarification on anything? Anything is welcome. And all you can do is just use the raise your hand feature on your device to let me know that you have a question, or if you can't figure out that it's on your device, you can unmute yourself, you can wave your arms, you can get my attention in some way, and we'd love to hear from you. So
it's the same experience I have all the time, like this information that I'm trying to like throw out there and get people excited about. The same thing happened to me at MGM Grand during the World Series of Poker. I was by the pool. I got some good information from a book called Untethered Soul. It was life-changing for me. And they were having a pool party and the beach balls were getting hit up in the air. And I was sitting by the pool reading and the information came into me and I got lit up. And I tried to I was like getting ready to tell everyone to quiet down and turn off the music and quit drinking and listen to me. And it was like, shut up. You guys need to put the drinks down. You need to turn that music off and you need to hear what this guy's saying because it'll change your life. They didn't even turn it off. They just kept playing the ball and throwing it up there. That's sometimes how it is here. Like, guys, listen, you can observe yourself. It's fucking amazing. And then you can determine, or you can see which is the best way to behave. Now, I'm not saying you're going to make it, but you actually can determine. There'll be a space in your head where you can come to the conclusion of what the best way to behave is, then you can go try and you'll probably fail, but at least you'll know that it's your responsibility. And then you can come back and you can analyze again and try to behave better next time. And all of a sudden, things will change. And you'll find that all that complaining you did just didn't do anything. It didn't move the dial. So it's a remarkable thing that you can do this, that we have a level of a human being that we can watch ourselves, that we can take an observer position and observe our life and take stock in it and actually do that. That's amazing.
Forgot to mention how humiliating of a process it is, though, as you're starting to watch yourself.
It should be. It should be very humiliating. That's right. Yes. You should cry. You should cry at really how poorly we've behaved. Really how self-righteous we are. Really how we're always in a competition to be right. Really the things we've done, the way that we behave as thinking we're like elusive in all of our bad behavior and nobody sees it, the way we've lied, the way we've tried to convince people that the sky is not blue when it's clearly blue. And not only that, we yell at them, you know, when they say we're high or they say, you know, yeah, you're literally high right now. And then somebody says you're high and you get angry. That's insane. I mean, you should cry about that. You know? It's like if your knee had a gaping hole in it, was bleeding blood down your leg, and somebody goes, that's blood running down your leg. No, it isn't. You're crazy. It's like that. And everyone's just looking at you like, dude. Yeah. Yes. We're insane. It says we came to believe a power greater than ourselves would restore us to sanity. I asked someone, how do you come to believe that? Well, guess what? If you can watch yourself, seems to me that would be a power greater than yourself. The power to watch myself will restore me to sanity, because when I watch myself, I'm not allowed to act insane. It literally hurts. But when I've acted insane, I've never been watching myself. I can't look.
Don't want to.
I don't want to look. Don't make me look. I've never looked. So maybe that's the power. That you now can become this observer of you, and you will be restored to insanity because you cannot observe yourself in insanity. You won't allow it. You're good in there. You know you're good. And when you're being bad, you're looking away from yourself. You're in the dark. But you observe yourself, you won't be able to do it. Whatever it is that you're doing, the guilt will riddle you. Guilt's good, by the way. People say guilt's not good. What if we didn't have it? Jesus, it'd be anarchy. There shouldn't be any guilt. What do you mean? People should just behave how they want and just never feel guilt? That's insane. We all have an inner sense of guilt. We know when we're out of bounds. We know when we're out of bounds. Thank God the guilt's there to tell you you're out of bounds. No, there shouldn't be any guilt. I love guilt. Guilt's the thing that's made me behave better. I would love it. Jesus. I got some donuts last night. Yeah. There's a gas station up by the Muckleshoot called the Big Nation. What a name. Big Nation Station. And I'll tell you what. This is the pinnacle of gas station convenience stores. This has everything that you're going to imagine. It's got the best coffee. You can go get a coffee. and it's got the best junk food you've ever seen. High quality junk food. Yeah. It's got the hot dog bar. It's got the chicken wings. I mean, this place is I can't go there. But Angie had really pissed me off. So I went over and I got me 6 old-fashioned big ass donuts in the white box and a 1 gallon thing of the gas station milk. It doesn't come in the normal bottle. It comes in this like tube. Yeah, it's like a weird, this weird tube of milk, but it's like colder than normal. And then you open the top and you got to rip the little foil thing off. And then you're into the milk. And then you're into the donuts. Yeah. And then just for fun, I threw in a bag of corn nuts. You know what I mean? Got a little salt with the sweet.
And you
But
were
again-
mad at me that he's making that up. You're giving yourself a rationalization. You did. You totally gave yourself a rationalization. That was made up.
I was mad because she's on a particular diet. I had made myself a hamburger and fresh homemade French fries. And then I said, oh shit, there's no ketchup. I looked in the fridge, there was no ketchup. She was happy there was no ketchup.
Hold on. Everybody in that room.
There was no
Hold
ketchup.
Hold on. Everybody in that room. What would be the most rude thing you could possibly do when I'm on a very strict diet? Everybody in that room knows. The most rudest thing you possibly could do is make homemade French fries. My favorite thing on the planet. So when he said there was no ketchup, I
tried to give her a break. I even salted one and then when I had it, I put some ketchup and I brought it over like this right to her mouth and she didn't break. Listen, her diet's stupid. She's so small. I mean, it's crazy. She's tiny and she's skin and bones and she's on a diet. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, so when there was no ketchup, I was a little bit happy about that. I was like,
Yeah. I know.
But very disappointed that, he came back with all this stuff because I worry about his health. But can we share with everybody for some accountability here on what you've committed to next week?
Yes. Well, I guess I gotta fast. I gotta do fasting and I gotta eat.
Thank you,
right.
Denise.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
trying. Oh, thanks, Denise.
Yes.
Hey, Denise, remember how I helped you? And now you're hurting me. This is how you repay me?
No, it was actually such a gift that
Back
she gave
to
to our
living on my
lives
pants.
because she's adding years to our lives.
Yeah.
You can eat whatever you want, though.
That's what they say, but I'm not buying it. It's too good to be true. You think I could just pig out all day and then have to not eat?
No, you cannot just pig out, but
Come on, let's get someone new, someone we don't usually hear from. Somebody, maybe somebody's got a problem and they're struggling with addiction. Jesus, Andrew. We're not taking this very serious here.
All right. Who else, guys? Questions, comments, please.
Hey, we're pretty good. By the way, we're pretty good at strategies. So if you're new and you want that, we're pretty good at giving them out. Like, but it is kind of like, we'll tell you the forecast. And we're pretty good. We might be better than Weatherman at telling you the forecast. Like your attic's going to storm or it's going to snow there or whatever it is. Clouds are rolling in. Yeah. Tornado coming. Yeah. Going to rip your house apart. Yeah. Get in your cellar and duck for cover. Not a strategy. A lot of people probably are on that one. Got an attic living in my house. What do? I'm down in the cellar, ducking for cover. Yeah. We've got doors that lock from the outside. Yeah. That's not a strategy. Yeah. When the plane's going down and they say put your head between your legs. I don't think so. You ever hear the guy that survived? He's like, put my head between my legs. That's how I made it.
Saved my life.
Everyone died, but this guy, he put his head between his legs. Yeah, I'm going down like this. Like I'm keeping my head up. I'm not sticking them between my legs. Yeah. Yeah. Naked. Start taking your clothes off. Forget this. I'm getting up to the booze aisle.
So if there's anybody out there, questions, comments, please take this opportunity. I know that Kelly's new tonight. Would love to say hi if you're willing. Let me know.
Oh, Jesse got his, is that no?
Jesse Seal. I did see Jesse Seal on.
He's got his, is that his hand up or is that just his face screen?
I can't see.
Look at, there's a hand.
Are you out there, Jesse?
No, it's okay. Don't embarrass the kid.
Okay. I don't see him. He was on here. Oh no,
Eileen.
Jesse's screen's still black.
It's pretty simple. Just ask yourself, somebody here, you know, you could be in a relationship. Just ask yourself, in the relationship with your boss, in the relationship with your family, what position are you in? And I'll guarantee you, if you tell me you're in 3 or you're in 4, you're unhappy. That's where you'll find your unhappiness. And you'll want to be in the relationships that you're initiating or that you're leading. You'll be excited to see those people. You'll be excited to do those things. And by the way, it's not the results, it's the position. So understand, it's not the results that excite us. It's the, I mean, they're fine, they're good, but it's the position we're living in. My life is exciting because I always live in the first or second position. I don't live in the third, never. And I never live in the fourth. Learned about that. I've learned what happens when I expect negative outcomes. I get them. I learn what happens when I start creating a story about how things don't go my way. Guess what? They don't go my way. You know, I play poker with the guys, a lot of guys that play poker from the 4th position. And they're outside smoking a cigarette. And they're talking to their buddy about how they always get beat with pocket aces. They're talking about how they always lose. Guess what? I listen. Ooh, this guy always loses. Can't wait to play with him. I mean, I find them, you know, play poker from the first position, and by the way, poker will put you in 3 and 4 without you even knowing it. So you got to be very good at keeping yourself in the second position and initiating the game, controlling the tempo, playing your game, and creating and leading. And so we learn it in all of our relationships. Your relationships with your neighbor, your relationships with your boss, your relationships with your coworkers. Just look at the ones that make you happy and look at the ones that don't. And I will guarantee you, you will not tell me that you initiate a relationship and it's making you unhappy. You can't, because it isn't the relationship that should be providing the happiness. It's the challenge of initiating. That's where the happiness comes. It's the challenge. It's the constant work. It's the saying, no, I don't give up. Things don't go my way a lot, but I stay right here in this second position. I ready, aim, fire. I look at my behavior. I see, where can I find a tweak in my behavior? Where can I find something that I can do differently? Where is it? How have I behaved in the history of this relationship? Do I need to come to a conclusion where I admit that I've behaved very poorly to reset the tab? Do I have to pay them their money that I owe them? That means I got to come into this thing and I got to go, look, dude, in our relationship, I've been a shitbag. I've been terrible. Talk behind your back. I've done this. I've done that. That might be a starting point for a lot of relationships. I've been there. I owe them money. Got to pay them. So which of your relationships do you owe them money? Not literal money, but which ones do you owe something? Which ones have you behaved really poorly in? Well, in those, if you're going to be an initiator, you better start with the apologies. And that's a long time coming. This is what I owe you right now. I haven't been the best in this relationship. I've been terrible too. I've been dominated by you, been angry with you. I've been talked behind your back. I belittled you when you weren't around. And every time I see you, I remember that. And I need to power up and see your face and look in your eyes and tell you that I'm sorry. Hopefully we can start over. I bet that's the starting point for tons of relationships on here right now. Because the anger gets to us. So we have to start. Okay. Boom, here I am, right above me. How am I going to be tonight? How am I going to be in the relationship with these people tonight? I got to observe and think. Then I try, see? That's the thing. We try to behave like we want to behave, but we can't. Because guess what? Life's happening still, and we do react. And it shakes you up a bit. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. It's the truth. And then all of a sudden you're put back in that reactor position, but don't go to the victim position. You can stay in reaction a little bit. You're going to react. Go back to 2. Go back to your neutral corner. Take a deep breath. Come back out fighting. Come back out with a little jab. Be confrontational without being confrontational. Confront things with a question, not an answer. Here I come. I'm going to confront you with a question. I don't have the answers. That's good if I can get there, but it's not always easy. Sometimes I just tell you I have the answers and you're fucked up. Then I go back. But look at the truth in these 4 positions. By the way, I made it up. By the way, it's just something that came to my mind. It's not something that I read or something that you'll find in any book. But I looked, and I've been studying relationships for a long time, and I said, I'm going to look at the position people are relating from. Because you know what a relationship is. A relationship is simply space. That's it. There's space between. That's the relationship. It's not you and it's not me. It's the space between us. I can be in this relationship with this cup right here. It's the space. I'm relating to it. It's the space between. So what am I doing in this space between? How am I relating? Am I connected? Do I have connectivity? What is the internet connection? 0, 100, 50. How much am I willing to share? And I stay there, stay in that second position, hoping that I can get to the point where I can enroll people. You know, the best position to live life is that creative leadership position where you're giving your thoughts and your mind and your expression to the world, and they're receiving it. Your dinner that you cook, your party that you plan, your day that you decided would bring people together. That's the best. That's the highest level of brain activity. Gamma waves.
Oops. Sorry. I just responded to Eileen accidentally privately to somebody. Here it is again. There we go. There's everybody.
We used to have a PowerPoint of it.
Yeah, it's on my other laptop, unfortunately. So I couldn't grab it up here. But if you touch it again next time, I'll have it ready on this one.
It's in the book. The book comes out on Tuesday.
The book by Arthur Dallin.
Yeah. It's available on Amazon, Audible, and yeah. Okay.
So I have my notes. I have my notes here, Eileen. So victim is number 4. We did it backwards. So number 4. Oh, is that it? Oh, thank you, Nico. So yeah,
Nico's on it tonight.
For negative outcomes. Reactionary is reacting to life. Initiator is observing, watching your own behavior, developing strategy, and then creator, enrolling others, leading others.
You know, this came about for me because I watched people operate in the 3rd and 4th positions. And it saddens me, and I try and I beg and I try and I beg. And it saddens me that we get to see that sometimes. And so that's the work. The work here is to try to, once we can get somebody to begin to initiate their own life, the work is then over. That's the shove off. As soon as you can shove off, you can take it from there. As soon as you begin to observe yourself and then challenge your own behavior in every case, in every instant, well, the work of everyone else is over. Nobody needs to help you. You will no longer really need a therapist. You will no longer really need anything. You'll have honesty, and that'll do. That's a good, like, radical honesty is a great substitute for therapy. You just tell the truth, till it hurts. Tell the truth, till it hurts. That's what the therapist is trying to get you to do anyways. So you just do it. So you get there. And then you shove off and really, I can take it from here. Or I watch myself. I know. That's all we're waiting for. And it's over. But if you hide from yourself, you lie to yourself, you don't watch yourself, you behave poorly, you'll hang out a little longer on the shore here. Bring in some more funding for the program. No, it's all right. That funding that you're bringing in by hanging out on the shore might be helping somebody else ship off. So it all works. Works together. Well, I'm going to pay for the program this time, Art, but I'm not going to use it. So, okay. All right. Well, somebody is. We have a bed available. Okay. Well, I don't see any questions. Once again, a masterful job of teaching.
Thank you, everybody. Let me send a little reminder here before you wrap up. Be sure you are on our text reminder list because we don't know what the plan is for next week yet. And so make sure you're on that list so you know any updates upcoming. And we'll keep you in the loop.
All right. So we're not going next week?
Not necessarily. We're not necessarily. So we're working on, if you missed the beginning, we're working on a space to create some newness and to create a new type of meeting. It's going to be community and family focused, the whole community focused. It's going to be inviting everybody in and in person.
If we don't have the space, though, let's commit to the Tuesday after next.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not next Tuesday. Yeah, that's probably a good plan. Art hates Zoom, so it's tough. So he's going to take next Tuesday off. So no group next Tuesday, but we will be on Zoom the following. And then
hating Zoom's a little harsh. A little harsh. I don't.
Well, it's true. You don't.
I don't have hatred in my heart towards Zoom. I don't think it's as effective as in person, but
not as fun.
It still is. It's done us pretty good so far.
Yeah.
It's not the Zoom is the problem.
It's pretty cool that it's carried us through the last couple of years, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So
all right. Well, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the new people. You need what were we saying?
Yeah. So we're working on it. We'll let you all know when we have a solid plan. No group next week, but we'll have a plan soon. And we're mom's group in the morning. Look forward to seeing you, moms.
Yvette, Tuesday after next.
Did you have something, Yvette?
No, I was just going to make a smirky remarks and nothing.
Oh,
let's hear it. Make it.
I was going to ask you, Art, if you're reacting to Zoom.
Yeah. No. There's a lot of strategies we've tried.
No, I get it.
Yeah. All right.
Be sure and sign up for group coaching for next week in person, y'all, on our website, group coaching, and we'll see you all in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Good night. Good night.